Good evening, everyone. Good day. Good Wednesday. I hope everyone is doing all right and safe, secure, healthy, and happy. Um, so, my topic today is black men in America. And this is a message to my nephews. And future sons. Right now, we're living in America where descendants from Africa are here, and we're traumatized. Black men in America are actually traumatized, and everything that our ancestors have went through and endured all throughout slavery, all throughout the Middle Passage, all throughout invasion, and all throughout kidnapping. There's so much that has happened in each of those stages that has contributed to our trauma that we have inherited through our DNA. Now, people think because slavery, first of all, slavery was not that long ago. I just want to get that out of the way. It's like I really want to get that in people's mind. Okay, I know we live in a time where basic knowledge is just not a normal thing. So knowledge of your history is definitely not going to be a norm. So I'm trying to make it as simple as possible here. Okay, slavery was only 150 years ago. Okay, think about that for a second. Just think about that for a second. Slavery was only 150 years ago. So you have to put it in perspective. You have parents and you have grandparents that are 50, 60, 70, 80 years old. You subtract 80, 70, you subtract 80 or 70 years from 150, and it literally puts you at 70, 80. You know, so if you put that in perspective, man, it's no wonder black men in America are in the position that they're in. Okay, so it's like, not only did we have to survive slavery, okay, not only did we have to survive the Middle Passage, okay, not only did we have to survive kidnapping and invasion, and so slavery ends, and we then have to endure lynchings. We then have to endure risking our lives just to walk down the road looking for work was actually a risk. Like, we were actually sacrificing our lives just walking down the road looking for a job once slavery ended. Once slavery ended, there was nothing that black men there were no type of resources for black men. There was no type of support. There was no type of here's this X amount of money, here's this X amount of land, here's this X amount of resources go start your life, go build your life with your family, so on and so forth. So imagine even having a family, as a black man. Okay, so the pressure to provide and support our families started way back when. Okay? So not only was the pressure on to take care of ourselves, upkeep ourselves, handle ourselves, protect ourselves, we also had to protect, provide, upkeep, secure, and take care of family. So the pressure was already on with not being able to find work, not being able to make money. So once slavery was ended, not only did we have to watch out for lynchings and dodge lynchings, we also had to dodge the law, because once slavery ended, they actually would create laws. I mean, they knew that we didn't have money. They knew that we couldn't buy anything. They knew that we didn't have any type of means of income. So of course they created these laws, called black codes. They were actually actual laws that stated if you were caught stealing, this is how state penitentiaries and jails all came about. If you were a black man and you were caught stealing, you would get sent back to the field. You would literally get sent to the chain gang, and which was nothing but slavery. You would literally get sent to labor camps, which was nothing but slavery. And this is literally how, and those still exist today. Private labor camps and private penitentiaries and private jail systems still exist today in the South. And inmates who are majority black men are actually sold to these private jails. And so this is something that started way as soon as slavery ended. They actually created these laws that stated that if you got caught stealing, if you got caught trespassing, if you got caught doing anything, which literally you could have been, you didn't have to be doing anything. You could have, like I said, you could have just been walking down the street and they'll arrest you for trespassing and send you back to slavery and send you back to the chain gang. So it's like, then what happens to your family? What happens to your kids? How are they supposed to be provided for, taken care of? So the women had no choice but to go back to the plantation and work for master and continue to get raped by master just so she can provide for her kids. So this is why so many black people never progressed and never really made it out of the South and made it off the plantation. And here we are today, generations later. So everything that happened, and everything that happened not only happened to us physically, but all the things that happened to us economically and psychologically, emotionally, just existing as a black man in those times was catastrophic, was traumatizing. It was tragic. So it's like, fast forward to the early 1900s, where black people actually finally started to get a leg up and actually finally started to depend on each other, actually started to create flourishing businesses, actually started to make our own money and build our own businesses and our own practices, our own professions, our own hospitals, our own stores, our own farms. We actually had things flourishing. And as soon as that happened, our Wall Streets, our businesses, our communities, our homes, our churches were literally bombed. Were actually bombed. So everything that you see happening in Russia and in Ukraine, everything you see Russia doing to Ukraine, that was actually happening to black people in America. You know what I'm saying? It's like that was happening to us right here at home. So it's like nothing. So it's like nothing that the black man was able to do or have or build ever amounted to anything, because it was literally destroyed and taken from him and stripped of him by any means necessary. So years and years and years of control and manipulation of the black man's freedom and the black man's economic progression and the black man's place in this world has been beaten down all the way to the to the bottom of the bottom, and it's like now it's to the point where it's like black men are so brainwashed to the point where it's like now all black boys and black men, young black men, think they're capable of doing is becoming an athlete or a rapper. So it's like how did we go from farming and building businesses and having our own businesses and wanting to be heads of households and heads of families and wanting to completely build our own kingdom and be to what we are now, to only seeing ourselves as an athlete or as a rapper, and that being our only means of validation, and that's the only image we can accept of ourselves, is being an athlete and being known as an athlete. And you see it even in you see it now in mainstream media. All the athletes that have retired, and they're either now commentating, they're either you see them in commercials, you see them some of them are businessmen now. Some of them are businessmen now, but it's like they will never be known as anything else because they're black men. They'll never be known as anything else outside of that sports image. No matter what they do, no matter what they get involved in, no matter how good of a father they are, no matter how much good of a husband they are, no matter how good of a man they are, they will literally only be known as how well they ran that ball. So if you're not running that ball and you're not dunking the ball, how else are you viewed? How else are you perceived? How else do people how outside of how well you're performing on the field, how much respect do you get? How much do people actually respect you? How much do people actually value you? How much do people actually cherish your presence, your existence? And here in America, they don't. People don't. People don't. Outside of sports, outside of sports and entertainment, black men aren't really valued for much, and in fact, black men are viewed as deadbeat fathers, criminals, gangbangers, thugs, hoodlums, whatever you want to call it. And the way that black men and young black boys and the young black teens have been conducting themselves and carrying themselves and acting, those stereotypes have fit us. Those stereotypes have consumed us. Those stereotypes have plagued us, to the point where it's like now everywhere I go, I know the image I fit. I know the description I fit just by being a black man. So especially in the South, there's a lot of black people, and the majority of black people in America live in the South. That's just, stats. That's just facts. And if black people wanted to, if the wealthy black people in America actually wanted to, we could buy back so much of the land here. we could buy back so much of the resources, you know, and if there was only a way to educate black men and young black boys to even get into that mindset, even the ones that make it big with the athletics or the rapping, it's like no one is the black boys and are not getting the education in the school system to even to have the financial literacy to even know what to do with their money once they make it, how to manage it once they make it. And that's part of our traumatizing. That's part of our trauma in America, is being broke, not having the financial sustainability to be able to even do anything. You know, this is why so many black boys and black men resort to crime and violence, and you know, this is part of the main reason why, you know, they're killing each other and so quick to shoot each other, because they're stressed out, they're depressed from the pressure of not being able to provide financially, not being able to have anything, and they're stressed, and then they're traumatized from everything that has already been inherited and everything that most young black boys, the average black boy, has to experience and endure in his upbringing and in his environment and in his lifetime. So it's like you put those two things together, and this is why the thought of taking a life is, there is no thought, there is no second thought, and there's no regard for it. You know, there's absolutely no regard for life. There's no compassion. There's no compassion. You know, if the compassion wasn't shown to them on their upbringing, and the love wasn't shown to them, how are they going to show it to someone else? How are they going to know to show it to someone else? There's no reasoning skills. There's no result to conflict. There's no resolution to conflict. It's like that's not even in their minds. The only thing is video game and the drill music, literally molding and shaping up their minds to think that this is life, that's real life, and this is what's, you know, what's going on and what's happening, and it's actually, it's like a mass extinction going on amongst the black men and black boys in America. And it's all starting with the psychological, mental, emotional part of things. Yeah. There's so much that was started on the plantations and implemented on the plantations, and that still holds true today, and that still happens today, and the structure and the blueprint of keeping black men at a certain level and in a certain mindset, it still holds true today. Keeping a black man mentally shackled does far more damage than any type of physical damage someone can do to him. Slave master, slave ship crew member, anyone in those times, any type of harm that someone could have brought upon a black man doesn't even compare to the psychological damage that has been inflicted and infiltrated on him. And this is why so many black leaders and so many prestigious black men end up dying or being murdered or assassinated or somehow, some mysteriously way dying, because it's like if you can knock off the leaders that are actually figuring this thing out and knock off the people that can possibly liberate and educate and inform all the others, and it's like I'm no one I'm not famous, and I'm not like someone who's like well known, but even I am very, very cautious with who I talk to, who I deal with, who I tell my business to, because it's like just a little bit that I speak out, just a little bit that I talk, just the topics that I talk about, just a little bit that I do, it's like that already has made me a target. That has already put a certain perception about myself to people in people's minds. You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense. It's like people already perceive me a certain way now, just by the little bit of that I speak out about, involving the injustice and the inequalities that black people endure in America. And it has nothing to do with being woke. It has nothing to do with being better than someone. It has nothing to do with knowing it all. It has nothing to do with that. But it's like there comes a certain time in every black man's life where it's like, all right, something is not making sense, because I'm working my ass off. I'm doing everything I'm supposed to be doing, and something still isn't happening. Something still isn't working. Why is that? Because I'm gonna tell you why, black man. Because you're a part of a systematic racism, a system that has been built off racism, and has been built off the backs of your ancestors and the blood, sweat, and tears of your ancestors. And now you are now that they have you under the illusion that you're reaping the benefits of what your ancestors went through, but nothing is going to change. Nothing in this country is going to change for black men until black men ourselves take control of our emotional health, our physical health, our mental health, and make it our business to learn financial literacy in every way possible. And it's like, when I say take care of ourselves emotionally and mentally, we have to break out of the lazy mindset and the lazy habits and patterns that we all as black men possess from time to time, that's keeping us shackled and keeping us at the bottom. We already know we weren't what we're walking into. We already know the hand that we've been dealt. Now we have to learn how to maneuver and how to change that, and how to become dwellers in our own worlds. We have to learn how to exist in our own worlds, and get our own minds right, and our own minds focused on what it is that we really want, and what it is we really want to do in our lifetimes as black men. Because it's like I said, we already know what we're up against. We already know what we're suffering. We already know, and we're all going through the same shit. We're all literally going through the same shit. Some worse than others, some little different than others. But overall, as a black man in America, we're all on the same boat, literally. All those slaves that were coming over in the Middle Passage, they were all in the same, because they were literally all in the same position. No one, at that point in time, unless you were handicapped or you had a handicap or something, no one in that point in time had it worse than the next man or woman next to them. But right now I'm talking about black men. So it's like, you know, no black man on the bottom of them ships had it worse than the next man next to him. And it's the same thing right now, going on today, right now. We're still slaves. We're still on the ship. Mentally, emotionally, psychologically, we're still there. Financially, we're still there. And that's why it's crazy that we're killing each other out here. Like, that's why it's so crazy, because it's like, yo, with everything that is already happening to us, and with everything that we already going through and had to go through, it's like, yo, if our ancestors knew that we were out here killing each other, yo, it would probably be mind-boggling. It would probably blow our ancestors' minds. Even the civil rights leaders that went through it, Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, if they knew how we was out here killing each other, yo, it's like that shit wouldn't even make sense to them. It's like it would be, it's like, there was a time where black men literally had to come together and band together just to survive, yo. When racist white people would go buck wild, man, and start killing people, black people, for no reason, just massacring hundreds and hundreds of black people for no reason, randomly, yo. It's like black men dead ass had to come together and protect themselves and their fucking families, man, from being slaughtered, just like you seeing in fucking Russia and Ukraine. It was the same shit happening to black people right here in America, man. And black men were forced to come together. Even if it cost them their lives, they went down in the blades of glory of fucking protecting themselves and their loved ones and their families. But they were not killing each other. They couldn't afford to kill each other. And it's the same thing now. We can't even afford to kill each other. And that's black men are... There's black men and black boys out here that literally put more effort in finding someone or trying to get information on someone just to run them down and shoot them. It's like black men actually put more effort into that than they do into fucking making money or trying to find a purpose for themselves in life or anything. Like, it's mind-boggling to me. And it's because that's the validation that they're seeking from the music that they're hearing. And these video games. It's like it's an actual, with this Call of Duty bullshit, it's like it's an actual ranking. Not only do you get a ranking in the video game, but that ranking, it's like they're taking that shit literal in real life. Or something. And that's all they care about, is who they kill and how many people they kill. Or if they get killed. You know, it's sad, man. It's sad. And it's plaguing us. And it's pulling the rug from underneath our feet even more than it already was, man. Black men, we have to get to a point where we are getting a hold of our emotions and managing our stress and managing our depression levels, and we have to find outlets, and we have to find different avenues to take that can help us manage and cope before we do things that's going to cost us our lives or cost us our freedom and our peace of mind and our sanity. And that's not just with gun violence, that's with, you know, relationships, that's with associations, that's with just everything. It's like being in the wrong place at the wrong time. It's like you don't always gotta be at the bar, at the club. It's like you don't always gotta be out on the street, outside. It's like, you know, go spend time with your kids, man. Go spend time with your lady, man, your baby mother. It's like there's so much time that's being wasted right now between the kids and parenting and their fathers that, you know, you're never gonna get back. And this is cherished. This is very vulnerable, very sensitive times when kids are young and they're in their early stages, in their early ages. It's like these are the times you're not going to get back, and these are the times where they need you the most, man. so you can implement those morals and those values early on, so that they don't grow up and be like every wild ass other kid out here, man. You know, it's like they have to have the outlet, and they have to have the guidance and the structure to keep them on track as much as possible. They're not going to always be around you. You're not going to always be able to control them and make decisions for them. But it's like, at least you can implement some valuable things that can help them make the best decisions that they can possibly make when they aren't around you and they are faced with tough decisions, and they are in unfamiliar situations and environments. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, they need you there, man. They need you there. The same way you needed your father there. And even if you didn't have one, be what you needed. Be what you needed. All right? Much love to y'all. Please continue to stay safe, stay prayed up. Give all praises to the Most High. Thank God every day, every morning. You open your eyes. There's so much going on out here. One.